meeting. Okay? This meeting is now called to order. So I'm going to ask you to stand as we repeat the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi, which is on the front cover of the page. Make sure you start. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there's hatred, let me sow love. Where there's injury, pardon. Where there's doubt, faith. Where there's despair, hope. Where there's darkness, light. And where there's sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoning, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen. Let's just be in a moment of silence for our deceased members. Amen. You may be seated. I would like a motion for the approval of the agenda. Motion. Okay, name. Okay, second. Okay, all in favor, remain seated. Contrary, rise. Motion carried. Okay, I would like to welcome all of you to this 39th Annual General Meeting of Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited. And I trust that we will have an exciting meeting tonight, and I pray that you all prepared for it. I would like to welcome all of you. In addition, I would like to welcome our auditors, BDO, Mr. Simonet and Gojet. I hope I have those names correct. Mr. Roberts and, I calling you Brent Simonet, sorry.
Always happens.
Okay. I would also like to welcome representatives from the Bahamas Cooperative League. We have Mr. Cunningham, Mr. Sands, and Mr. Evans. And we also have from the Insurance Board, Ms. Denise Rose, and from Teachers, Teresa Delavo. Any other representatives from any of the other credit unions that I might not see, because I can hardly see with this bright light? Okay, welcome. We are now going to have greetings from Mr. John Sands from the Bahamas Cooperative League Limited. Give him a round of applause as he comes.
Good evening, fellow cooperators.
Good evening.
I bring you greetings on behalf of the affiliates, the board, and staff of the Bahamas Cooperative League Limited. We wish to extend congratulations to the members, board, committee members, and staff of the Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union on the hosting of this, your 39th annual general meeting. We also commend you for your success at providing much needed financial services to your members and developing public workers into a strong and progressive cooperative credit union. Your theme this year, preparing for the future, the next generation, is certainly essential to the future success of this credit union and its members. The needs of members and the Bahamian citizenry are evolving continuously, along with the requirements of our regulators. And we must position ourselves now for the next 40 years. Your steady growth and performance over the past 39 years is truly a testament to all of your credit union stakeholders. The 378.76% growth in your net income at the end of 2018 is truly commendable. You were successfully able to go from a loss of $54,639 in 2017 to a net profit of $236,785 in 2018. This truly is outstanding. At the same time, your interest income grew by 10.65% from 2017 to 2018. That also is very good work. We are in an era where traditional financial institutions are becoming more and more aggressive, and they are pursuing many of our members. So there is a need for each of us as members of the credit union to be vigilant. What is interesting, however, is that these very same financial institutions are changing their strategies. They are increasing their fees, while at the same time decreasing their physical locations. This makes it more difficult for their customers to get good service. This thereby provides the Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union, and indeed the credit union movement, with a great opportunity to empower the citizens of this country. We applaud you for seeking ways to be relevant to your membership and for pursuing initiatives to attract additional members. Your recent launch of the Cash and Go services, the remodeling of your Wolf Road branch, and impending ATM services and other programs that you've got on the drawing board should certainly be invaluable to the delivery of more efficient and speedy service to your members. As cooperators, we know that credit unions still remain the best kept secret in this country. We must increase our collaborative efforts to spread the word about the benefits of our great movement. I encourage the leadership of the Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union to continue to implement programs and initiatives to assist members with achieving their dreams while attracting and retaining new members. In closing, I would like to extend thanks to your credit union for your continued support of the Bahamas Cooperative League Limited. We extend our best wishes for a productive annual general meeting and a successful 2019.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Sands, for those good remarks and encouraging remarks. We will now have the minutes of the previous meeting by our secretary, Mr. Mitchell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Acknowledgement. The motion was moved by Mr. Stewart, seconded by Williams, right here. Williams, Sophie Williams, great. As many are in favor will remain seated. Those against stand. Abstention. Motion carried. Matters arising from the minutes. Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. And page 5. Can I have a motion? I need a motion. A motion for the acceptance of the minutes. Tanya Ramin.
Paula Brown, second.
Seconded by Paula Brown. As many are in favor, will remain seated. Those against stand. Abstentions. Item 8, matters arising from the minutes. We go to page 8. Page 9. No, that's matters arising. Are there any corrections to the minutes? There being none, matters arising from the minutes. Okay. The minutes have been accepted.
Okay. The Board of Directors report. It's on page 14.
Paula Brown.
Do we have a second? Okay. All in favor, remain seated. The contrary, rise. Motion carried. Any highlights? We could go on page 14. Page 15. Page 16. Any questions or concern in connection with the director's report? If none, could we have a motion to accept it, please? Could we have a name? A second? Okay. Yes, okay, you want to stand, please?
curtail that as much as possible. When I look into the financial accounts later down, I see where that amount has increased from 4 million to 5 million or something to that effect. So I just wonder if you can, just give us a little bit more detail on that and what has been put into effect.
Okay, Ms. Dorset, we want to leave that for the treasurer's report, okay? Okay. We already had a second, right? Yes. Okay. All in favor, remain seated. To contrary, arise. Okay. Next report will be the supervisory committee report. Oh, I'm sorry. Which one was doing it? The league? And insurance. Okay, we'll have a presentation from the league insurance before the report.
Good evening, all. The Bahamas Cooperative League Insurance Brokerage is working to offer you credit union members lower insurance premiums from our network of carriers. Who are we? We are your credit union insurance broker. We've been around from January 1999, and we are here to service you, to protect your most valuable assets as owners of BCLIBL. We provide insurance from with various carriers. We offer motor, home policies, that's private, commercial policies. We offer business option policies, contractors all risk, that's private contract work as well as commercial contract work. So anybody needing a contractors all risk, they can feel free to come to the Bahamas Cooperative League as a member because there are benefits for you. Also, we offer marine policies and contents, all risk policies, as well as our recent introduction is the long term that we started 5 months ago, where we offer a life, medical, and burial plan, and many others. So feel free to stop out there before you leave or to come to our office right across the street, Russell Road, Oaksfield, behind the Wendy's and McDonald's drive-thru. But you own this. This is your investment, so feel free to come and invest in your business. We are here, as I indicated earlier, to protect your most valuable assets as credit union members and owners. So I thank you. Without any further ado, like I said, we're out front after the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Stevenson. We'll now have the supervisory report. You have a question for Ms. Stevenson?
You can hear me? Yeah. Ms. Stevenson, do you, the insurance agency that we have that's under the Credit Union League, are the premiums competitive to the private sector, the other insurance companies?
Yes, we surely do offer competitive prices. We have match, and well, I would say we have the beat, not the match, as well as bundle and save. So there are great benefits for you as credit union members. And as I indicated earlier, we have an array of carriers, so we're not limited. We have options for you. So feel free to come on down. I just love to say that to BCLIBL.
I like to hear that too.
Any other questions for? Okay, could we now have a representative from the supervisory committee to present their report?
The name is Melbourne Davis. I make a motion that we dispense with the reading of that report, please.
Dispense with the reading. Good evening. We already have where the reading of the Supervisory Committee report is dispensed with. The members of the Supervisory Committee consist of myself, Mr. Hugh Chase, and Mr. Del Hyler Gay, who is the chairperson. Mr. Chase is the secretary of the Credit Committee. Any questions? Sorry, the Supervisory Committee. Any questions? Sorry, myself is Deirdre Clark. On the ballot, I'm Deirdre Clark, but I am Deirdre Clark Maycock. Any questions on the Supervisory Committee report? Ms. Johnson, are you out there?
Okay.
There being no questions?
If there are no questions, we would like, okay.
Okay. Oh, Ms. Johnson.
I don't like this room, don't I? You can't see.
Say it again, they didn't hear you.
You didn't hear me? Octavia Johnson. I think it is an insult to people's intelligence, at least to mine, to have not been able to read this thing with any amount of time, to be able to conjure up questions which will mean something. We seem to be running through this whole exercise too fast.
Thank you very much, Ms. Johnson. The point is noted. I just wish to say, though, that the reports have been made available for anyone who wished to have sight of them from about a week ago. Approval for the report, please. Can we have a proposal for the approval of the report? Marjorie Stewart?
I so move. Thank you.
We need a seconder? Sybil James. Thank you very much, Ms. James. Ms. Stewart. Thank you very much. Cooperators.
Credit Committee report, please.
Credit Committee.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes. I'm going to read it. Yeah, let's read it.
You got them on the board.
I make a motion that that report be dispensed with.
That's right.
Could we have a second?
It's hard for us to see. I don't like this one.
Okay.
The light.
Any questions for the Credit Committee?
They don't have to come back here because final delay.
You can see? Okay, you ask the questions, right?
He said no, but no question.
No questions. Then ask for a motion to.
Can I have a motion to accept the credit
there are
committee's
no
report?
questions.
Seeing that there are no questions?
Where?
Okay.
I don't stand up. No. This is a poor room. You can't see people.
No, it's terrible. I thought didn't like this.
Good night. I just wanted to stand to recognize the good work of the credit committee. And Mr. Michael Fountain, you've done a good job this year. I've watched you. Ms. Hessica Dean Ingram, wonderful job. Looking forward to some good things from you because you're both very young, energetic, and you're doing well. Thank you very much also, Paula. You've always done very well. So I just wanted to commend you three for the good job that you're doing with the credit committee. Thank you.
Mr. Politician. As a politician. Ask for motion.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay. Here we go.
All right, Christopher Farrington.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what is the status of our delinquent
Credit cards? The treasurer will, he will, in his report, he will bring light to clarification to the status of the credit cards.
Good evening. On page 19. Oh, I'm Marvel Russell Mins. At the bottom where you have a breakdown of the loans approved by month, in your next report, are you able to say how many loans were approved by month, please?
We gave you a breakdown on the page 20. Turnover, the categories and the reasoning for it.
Yeah, but am I to assume that in January there were 866 loans? That's what I'm asking for, a breakdown by month on page 19.
No. That's just the overall total.
I know it is.
Yes.
That's why I'm asking.
Okay, in the next report, yes.
Can
okay.
that happen, please?
That point is taken.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're being advised that you can, at any point, go into the office and retrieve that information.
But we'll have it in the next report. Any other questions?
Motion.
Just a question for Ms. Ingram. As a young female, young person on the committee, is there any highlights of your past position that you feel necessary to share with us, please? As a young female and a young person on the credit committee.
You can answer it.
I can answer.
You can understand.
With the report, Fontella rule.
I can hear you.
That's not a part of the report.
What's the question?
Okay, I'm being advised by the board that we can defer that question for another time.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Can I have a motion, please, to accept the credit committee's report? As name? Thank you. Yvette Hall. Oh, we need a second. Somebody can second it? Okay. Marjorie Stewart, second. Thank you, Ms. Stewart. Okay, thank you, Credit Committee. We'll now have Mr. Thompson, who will bring you up to date.
To the treasurer.
Man, y'all.
I tell you.
You say after the education committee.
Yeah,
Where you on that?
Treasurer, please do your report at this time. That's the credit, Greenstead. Hold on.
Who's going to bring the education?
Could we have a representative from the Education Committee to do their report, please?
This is terrible. This light?
Yeah, that's even light. Yeah, this light.
You can't see.
Good afternoon, all. All right, Wellington Ramsey, member of the Education Committee. Thank you. Thank you.
Questions?
All right. Also, I'd like to first extend my apologies on behalf of our chairman, Mrs. Verna Wannabe. She's unable to make it at this time as she's currently in travels. All right. Are there any questions for the Education Committee? Apologies extended on behalf of our chairman, Mrs. Verna Barnaby. She is unable to attend at this time, but she is on her way. All right. Are there any questions?
Education.
Mike.
I hate to say it. Trust me. This is not a good thing.
I have no questions, but I want the record to reflect that the Education Committee did an awesome job this year.
And thank you to our Grand Bahama team as well. All right.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes as they are? Thank you.
The name.
Oh, that's better. You can see now.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can see now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Christopher Farrington again. We wanted to know, when are we going to have our website fully functional? We are paying for it, and it's not fully functional. Ms. O'Brien, we would like to know when the Education Committee will have access to that web page, because it's not fully functional. It makes no sense paying, and it's not being utilized properly. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, good.
Noted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Now we can see people now. We can see anybody. Okay?
Come in this way. Yeah.
You ready for the treasurer's report? Yeah. Okay, we'll now call the treasurer, who would present his report at this time.
Good evening, officers. It gives me great pleasure. I know this is the exciting part of the annual general meeting. And hello.
Yeah.
They used to tell me I had a preacher voice, but I getting old and tired. At this particular point in time, I would like to call our auditors from BDO, Mr. Brent Roberts and Jeruso Gojet.
Jerusa Gojek.
Please forgive me, I always had problems with pronouncing names in school. But he will read his opinion and give some highlights as to the balance sheet and the income statement and the cash flow position.
Good evening, Board. Good evening, members.
Good evening.
Report of the auditors to the shareholders of Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited. Qualified opinion. We have audited the accompanying financial statements of Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited, the credit union, which comprise a statement of financial position as at the 31st of December 2018, and the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, statement of changes in equity, and statement of cash flow for the year then ended, and notes to the financial statements, including a summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, except for the effects of the matter described in the basis of qualified opinion section of our report, the accompanying financial statements present fairly in all material respects the financial position of Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited as at the 31st December 2018, and its financial performance and its cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standards, IFRS. Basis of qualified opinion. The credit union's loans receivables are carried in the statement of financial position at $28.3 million. As discussed in Note 4, management has not adopted the impairment provision of IFRS 9 and has not recognized loss allowances for expected credit losses, ECLS, on their net loans receivable, but has received approval from their regulator, the Central Bank of the Bahamas, the central bank, to defer and implement this standard commencing 2019. This deferral constitutes a departure from IFRS. Had management stated loans receivable net of allowances for ECL, an amount of $1.9 million would have been required to write the loans receivable down to their net realizable value. Accordingly, provisions for doubtful loans would have been increased by $1.9 million, and net income and members' equity would have been reduced by $133,000 and $1.9 respectively. We conducted our audit in accordance with International Standards on Auditing, ISAs. Our responsibilities under these standards are further described in the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the financial statements section of our report. We are independent of the credit union in accordance with the International Ethics Standards Board of Accounting Code on Ethics for Professional Accountants, IESBA code, together with the ethical requirements that are relevant to our audit and the financial statements of the Bahamas. We have fulfilled our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with these requirements and the IESBA code. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis of our qualified opinion. Key matters. Key audit matters are those matters that, in the auditor's professional judgment, were of most significant in the audit of the financial statement as at the 31st December 2018. These matters are addressed in the context of the audit of the financial statements as a whole, and informing the auditor's opinion thereon, the auditor does not provide a separate opinion on these matters. In addition to the matter described in the basis of qualified opinion section, we have determined the matters described below to be a key audit matter to be communicated in our report. Key audit matters: dormant accounts. Per the Bahamas Cooperative Credit Unions Act 2015, the 2015 Act, where a deposit account is declared dormant, the board should transfer the account, interest, and other sums due or standing to the member's account of the credit union's statutory reserve fund. After a period of 5 years in the special reserve fund, The board may transfer the dormant deposit account to the central bank, which shall maintain a separate accounting record of all such accounts. The credit union is seeking further clarification from the central bank as it refers to dormant accounts. Other information. Management is responsible for the other information. The other information comprises the information included in the annual general meeting AGM booklet, but does not include the financial statements and our auditor's report thereon. Our opinion on the financial statements does not cover the other information, and we do not express any form of assurance conclusion thereon. In connection with our audit of the financial statements, our responsibility is to read the other information and, in doing so, consider whether the other information is materially inconsistent with the financial statements or our knowledge obtained in the audit or otherwise appears to be materially misstated. If, based on the work we have performed, we concluded that there are material misstatements in this other information, we are required to report that fact. We have nothing to report in this regard. Responsibilities of management and those charged with governance for the financial statements. Management is responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of the financial statements in accordance with IFRS, and for such internal control as management determines is necessary to enable the preparation of financial statements that are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error. In preparing the financial statements, management is responsible for assessing the credit union's ability to continue as a going concern, disclosing as applicable matters related to going concern, and using the going concern basis of accounting unless management either intends to liquidate the credit union or to cease operations, or has no realistic alternative to do so. Those charged with governance are responsible for overseeing the credit union's financial reporting process. Auditor's responsibility for the audit of the financial statements. Our objectives are to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements as a whole are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error, and to issue an auditor's report that includes our opinion. Reasonable assurance is a high level of assurance, but is not a guarantee that the audit conducted in accordance with ISAs will always detect a material misstatement when it exists. Misstatements can arise from fraud or error and are considered material if, considered in the aggregate, they could reasonably be expected to influence the economic decision of users taken on the basis of these financial statements. A further description of the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the financial statements is located in an appendix to this report. This description forms part of our auditor's report. The engagement partner of the audit resulting in an independent auditor's report is Clifford Culmer. Signed, BDO, Chartered Accountants, Nassau, Bahamas, 16th of May, 2019. Thank you.
You have heard the auditor's opinion. Do we accept the auditor's report? Of course. Do I have a...
Yes.
Stand.
Mike, please. Yes.
I realize that you have been qualified opinion. And I just want persons here present to understand what a qualified opinion means. An unqualified opinion means that we have a good report. A qualified opinion means that we have some circumstances that we need to work on. Can you please clarify the qualified position of the opinion?
Thank you, Reese. Basically, Reese is correct. As I've stated in the opinion page, the qualified report is based on the fact that the implementation of IFRS 9 was deferred until 2019. IFRS 9 specifically states, as it deals with the credit union, a more structured approach to your provisioning, your loan provisioning, for example. It wants us to look at the factual data informing what we considered to be a provision percentage based on the historical data of the credit union. And what we did in doing that was we went back to 2014 to 2017 and calculated on each year the rate percentage for provisioning of your current loans. It doesn't want you just to focus on those loans that are considered aged. It wants you to project future provisions on your current loans. And in doing so, we came up with an overall number of 1.9 million should be added or should go through your P&L as an expense, as an additional provision. So that's the reason for the qualification. This has not been implemented yet. We are stating what that difference is. In not implementing it, that would have happened had you put it through. So we're highlighting that to the users of the financials.
Any other questions? Seeing that the auditor's report and the treasurer's report, one agenda item, we now move to the treasurer's report. Thank you, Mr. Roberts. The treasurer's report is before you. Do I have a motion? Paula Brand, forego the reading of the, and Melbourne Davis second. Any questions? Well, in regards to the Treasurer's report, we can note the growth, 2018 growth in regards to loans, members' deposits, and total assets. So you can see your credit union on page 23. It's growing in those areas. You already with the balance sheet on page 24, it gives the comparative analysis and the variance in the growth in the respective line items. Assets, cash equivalents, member shares. With the statutory reserve fund, it notes that we are in compliance with the Act. As a matter of fact, we are more than in compliance because we have deposited in excess of $152,074 with the league for the statutory reserve fund. Also with the liquidity reserves fund, there's also an excess in deposit in that particular account, $130,770. And we can note in regards to the members' equity, that is all your profits and so forth in this credit union, some $6+ million. That's an increase of $245,000 over the last year. As indicated, our net income is $235,667. That means that we have already accrued for the prospective dividends or interest that you would have make a motion on tonight. Now, I know Mrs. Dorset in regards to doubtful debts. This has always been a headache for us, and we are continuing to look at that. And this year, this particular year, 2019, what we did, we engaged a collection agency, and right now they have about almost 100 members in court, because you can't we find that, our members they just, mostly when they retire, and then the ones who are over the counter, they just seem to walk away from their debts. And that's not good. That's not right. So we are pursuing legal action. So any of our friends, I have 2 sons and I know they were kind of a little delinquent. And when I call them up, I read them the riot act. I say, don't let your daddy look like this. Please come and settle your debt. Also, our delinquency department is working feverishly along with the collection agency in order to bring those delinquency under control, because it looks bad. And in regards to, we have a certain standard that is set by the league, and every time we look at that and we see how far we are from that standard, it causes us headache. It causes me headache. And the more you have write-offs, just remember that impacts the net profit, and as a result impacts your so-called dividends or interest on your shares. Because if we are not making any profits, we cannot declare dividends or interest on those shares. So I urge you, even me myself who's nearing retirement, I told them, please do not give me any loan if I come looking for one, because I will not be able to take care of it when I retire. I just want to settle what I have now. Okay, the public workers has been in compliance with everything in regards to the act, the Bahamas Cooperative Credit Act of 2015. We try to be legal as much as possible, because we know if there are any irregularities, there are some heavy fines, and I cannot afford to pay the central bank no $20,000 or $50,000. So we ensure that we comply as closely as possible to the act. And on that note, are there any further questions? Ms. Dawson?
Deal with the delinquent loans, and that is necessary. But again, I liked what you said in the end, whether it was legal or illegal, I don't know, to tell retired people like yourself not to give you any loan, because, you know, if you have a firm getting delinquency loan and a lot of the loans are over the counter and people who are retiring, then like your statement said, internally we have to rigorously, you know, look at that. So I just want to encourage you to really rigorously look at that, because all of us look for our dividends at the end of the year, and that will impact it.
Ms. Dossett, I think in our last two, and even before then, a year ago, we started to look at particularly the ones who are retired, nearing retiring, and also in regards to over-the-counter, because when we look at our delinquency, that seems like where 100% of our delinquency is coming with. So we're looking at how we can restrict. Now, once you're a member of the credit union, you're entitled to all privileges and so forth. But we find out that in doing that, it is costing us. So we're looking at over-the-counter, we're looking at those who are nearing retirement and how best we can limit any loans to them. All right?
Thank you. Permit me a second question. Somewhere in the report, and like I guess Ms. Johnson pointed out, you know, we don't have sufficient time to digest it. So maybe I might be reading it wrong. You refer to rental properties, and I think it seemed like it was the same amount both years, and I'm just wondering it could be my ignorance, how many rental properties we do have, because somehow that up and operational, because the amount I saw there seemed to be very small, $16,000 or something to that effect.
Yeah, because we didn't change the rent for those 2 years, but what is happening now with the one here in Nassau, the AGM, we were looking at selling that, but they gave us directive not to sell it. Now, in regards to we had a tenant, it's a 2-unit, one up and one down, and what we decided to do, seeing that we were not this year receiving the rent as it should have been coming in, we decided to evict the tenant, and we decided, because we are having problem with storage, so we decided to use the bottom unit for storage. So you will see a decrease in that particular rental unit. Only the church is paying now. And that's depending on the offering. A question was somewhere over here. Well, in regards, I know the central bank floated some shares that's this year, and we applied for, I think it's $300,000 worth of those. That's registered stock. You know what they did? They sent us back our check and say, we're not interested in getting no money from you. So that's what's happening when we look at that investments and whatnot. And we don't see anything presently on the market that we should be investing our monies in, whereas we could be lending it to members who could meet their obligations, not the over-the-counter and retirement ones.
Yeah.
Next question.
Daniel Thompson. I have a question and perhaps a comment on your report as relate to persons who as relate to retirees and their delinquency. I'd just like to, as someone who in a few years will be in that category, I would trust that the committee and the credit union and their effort to be very tight with their financial control of the union's fund will not forget their humanity, because those persons who retired, they would have contributed years to the union and they would have made significant contribution. And while other financial institutions give them a lot of stress in getting funding, I trust that our union would be very sympathetic in approaching these senior citizens.
Mr. Thompson, as long as I'm there, I'll be very sympathetic to causes and whatnot. I just was talking to a particular friend today, and I told her that when members are, like 60, 64, and then they come to you saying they want to borrow $15,000 for a medical condition or to help their children in university, my heart bleeds. Because I am torn. Because I know they are in a particular situation. This person really need assistance regarding their medical situation. And this person, they probably can't find funding anywhere else. And, when your children in school and so forth, you do whatever. I know that because I was in school myself. And we try to balance the pros against the cons in that regard. We might say, well, let's see if we could give her $7,500. All right, but not the 15. Looking at the position, looking at that loan application, we can see that loan going bad. You can see that. So you find yourself in a very funny place. And then when you get to the board, the board is going to say, what you doing, credit committee? You know, why is this loan like this? Then you have some loans, once they stop paying, then you have to continue to take their shares, to pay the loan, and then the loan's still delinquent. Then we find ourselves, they go on the delinquency listing. 30 days, 180 days. And members come to you and say, I only could pay. I mean, they were paying like, let's say $400 a month. They come and say, if you could reduce my monthly payment down to $50. The $50 can't even pay the interest on the loan. And we must remember, it's the members' money. We have to be very prudent in managing those funds. Because that big equity there, as the auditors indicated, with that new provision coming in the bin, that is going to impact that equity. That would mean instead of $6 million equity, we as members, we will only have $4 million. $2 million as a result of delinquency wiped out. And that's the position Mr. Thompson, being sympathetic, finds ourselves in.
Hi. To piggyback off of Mr. Thompson's comment, I think with the members in that situation, that's when I believe the board needs to take an aggressive look at investments that we can possibly look into to put aside for these members if we know that this is what we're looking at going forward. I think you mentioned that most of the delinquents are 100% of those retirees. If we find that this is what is
over the counter.
Most of them. Okay, most of them. If this is what we're looking at and we know this is what is happening, we want to put something in place to also help those members. I don't think they intentionally do that. Maybe you have some. But for most of all, let's look at investments that probably we could consider to put aside for these persons who, as they age, may need these loans. We know we just don't want to toss them out. So we want to protect ourselves and protect those members who have contributed over the years. So I think we need to look into some good investments. Keep looking out there so we could assist these people as much as we can. After all, like Mr. Thompson said, they have contributed to this organization.
Point taken. Thank you. Clark.
I just want to, I agree with the gentleman's comments, but I also appreciate your views and that we have to protect the assets of all the saving, all of us who are saving through the credit union. Now, one of the comments I would like for the board to take into consideration is perhaps, and perhaps we can garner the views from the members while they're here. What is your views on collateral? Like when we have persons who are perhaps at pensionable age, we can take something to hold the, since we're concerned as to whether they'd be able to pay it, why don't we hold something to safeguard the loan?
And thank you, Ms. Clark. In the recent revision of the loan policy, that is taken into consideration. So members going forward, if we are at a position where we are nearing retirement or over the counter, we will be requesting, once it has been, the loan has been analyzed and whatnot, and we find ourselves whereby we would need additional collateral or security, that will be forthcoming. So if a request is made by the credit committee for additional collateral, we don't want you to be offended, but we are protecting your money and other members' money. Ms. Davis?
Yes, I wanted to find out from you what percentage of the membership of the Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union are retirees?
Are retiring?
Yeah, what retirees, what percentage of the membership are retirees?
Well, the league refers to us as the Geriatric Credit Union. I'm being corrected. The other credit unions refer to us, not the league, as the Geriatric Credit Union. And that's all on account of, all loans and shares are insured. And when they have their weekly meetings and the insurance arm of the league analyze the claims paid out, they say public workers 100%.
So, Mr. Greenslade, that being the case then I would think that you would take care of those retirees because they're the ones who make up, the public seems to make up 90% or 80% of the public workers.
Well, I tell you, we do look after our members. But we want our members also to look after their obligation. And knowing that they cannot afford, knowing that I'm retiring next year, you think I'm coming to the credit union and ask them for $20,000? No. I mean, even though the loans are insured, but then you see when they different age, and then you find even though it's short up to 75, but once they go to delinquent while the individual is living, that moves off our books and go into the delinquency category, then that goes to the league. So that still impacts during their lifetime, that impacts our bottom line. And if we write off $2 million, nobody getting any dividends next year. So we encourage you to encourage. I know no guilty party in this room, but I encourage you to encourage those who who may have outstanding, and it's confidential, but to pay their loans. We don't want to take no judgment summons against any people's property or anything, and we could go to court and do it. We are doing, but by not giving them any loans. Yeah. No, they are aware. They are aware. We education seminars and so forth. We put them on like every 2 months, and we want the members to come out. Yes, sir. I always talk with retirement and whatnot. May I entertain a motion?
Question on the floor.
Ms. Johnson?
I regard the Public Workers Credit Union as a business. And as a business, it should be run that way. You can't go around feeling for somebody when you're not thinking in terms of all the other people who would be affected. Business is business.
Ms. Johnson, I agree with you. Business is business, but our business in this credit union is about people. People is our business, Ms. J. And I understand what you're saying. However, I appreciate what Mr. Thompson would have said and the young lady to my left about being aggressive. This credit union should get together with the others and the league, and instead of that money that is going to the dormant account that will go to the central bank and then to the treasury, we can use our dormant account money. Since the money is dormant and it's going, it might as well be there to help us with our retirees. So you all need to put together a letter and get together and organize yourselves. Get to the legislature. Where's the money going? If we have $1 million in dormant account, that $1 million could reduce our provisions for the delinquency, especially as it relates to retirees. And many of you there will be retiring soon. So I think it's something that you would really want to put in place for the next generation. But definitely go to the legislature, get a letter together. Let's try to get that dormant account money to revolve back to the credit union to take care of our retirees. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chipman. We have representatives from the league, and they will put that case forth. Do we have a motion?
Question on the floor.
Second.
Somebody else have a question.
All in favor, remain seated. Those
Somebody
again-
else have a question, Mr. Greenslade, sorry.
Who's that?
In regards to the retirees, I just have a suggestion.
Your name?
My name is Denise Ford. I'm from the Ministry of Public Works. Going forward, what we probably could do as a suggestion with the savings on their share account in terms of lending a loan, maybe just let them borrow what is on their loan, which is on their
shares.
saving.
On their shares.
So, yeah, or their share account.
Yes.
So that if the loan is default by any means, you could just deduct those funds right off their share account, and that would save us a lot of money.
Thank you. Noted. Motion carried. I got a second? Yes. The auditor's report and the treasurer's report now been approved. Thank you, Madam Chair. Oh, the budget next. Didn't do the budget. Please count down, you know. Could you turn on the mic, please, for the chairman?
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Good afternoon again to everyone. Good night. This is a live feed, and we want to welcome our guests who are listening and those, especially in the Family Islands. Welcome to our 39th Annual General Meeting of Public Workers. Okay? And we thank you for listening in. And before we go on to our budget, we want to welcome our staff. We want our staff to come this way. We haven't seen them for the evening. They are on the outside. Public worker staff, could you come in for a while?
Linda, call the staff.
Come quick.
Time is going. Come.
Public worker staff members, Nassau and Freeport, we just want to acknowledge you for your excellent service that you provide to this credit union. They really provide good service to our membership. Let's all give them a round of applause. Okay, we will continue with our...
Tinker.
We can deal with that.
We can deal with that. They are cashing, old ladies.
No. Okay. Okay, the manager will recognize
staff. Come.
The Freeport.
We call your names yet. Come.
Good evening again, AGM.
Good evening.
Good evening. Staff, could you come for 1 second, please? They want to individually recognize you. Of course, let me start. I think our financial controller is somewhere here, Mr. Dawson. Let's give him a round of applause. He's responsible for our monies, making sure everything is in place. I must say, as a general manager, and you know the fisherman's supposed to talk about his fish or whatever, I have the best staff ever. The best staff ever. And I started with Mr. Dawson. He is the financial controller.
Good man.
Let me talk about this lady who is so much troublesome right here. This Miss Claire. troublesome, but the best people to work with. I must tell you. So Ms. Claire is our office administrator. Let's hear it from Ms. Claire. And then in Freeport, we have the rowdy, but the most beautiful lady, Lucy Dossett. She's the office manager in Freeport. Also, we have from my left, Ariel Griffith, who is responsible for our filing. Let's hear it for Ariel. We have Anise Williams, who is in the front. Everybody knows Anise, right? We have Marissa Seymour, who is now the secretary to the general manager, right here. We have Melinda Greenslade behind Ms. Seymour, who is in front of the counter. Everybody knows Melinda. We have one of our newest ladies, Cheyenne Hunt, who is assisting in the delinquency department. And of course, everybody knows Ms. Nika Delancey. If you ever miss your loan payment, you can hear from her. All right, Ms. Nika Delancey does a great job. And we have our newest receptionist, Miss, oh God. You know, when you have too much children, you just can't remember the name. I always say in the office, they can tell you, I just call them everybody's name. Tanya Mitchell, and is the receptionist. And underneath, we have Miss Lucy Dorsett's very professional, competent assistant, Pamela, what's your name? Capron. And of course, everybody knows Akira Roll. Everybody knows Akira Roll. And he assists up front. We recently got involved in Cash and Go. That's another subject, but I want to let you know this staff is ready to serve. We've always accommodated, and I think we got some really good comments from our members. As your general manager, I've been here 23 years, and I think I've never want to change your staff. Thank you all, staff. And let me just say, we have some of the best board members here and in there. So let's share it for our board and our staff. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, staff, and thank you very much, board of directors.
Okay, Mr. Grange said budget.
No, he finished. He finishing his to do and then he going into.
Good night, members, once again.
Finish and then he do that.
We love the assistant treasurer, Mr. Thompson, who will walk you through the budget. Oh, you doing cash and go ahead. Oh, he'll give us the highlights, cash and go. I'm sorry, finish. When he's through, I'll get to the budget.
Good night, everyone. All right. In light of all the dismal information, news that we just shared pertaining to our delinquency books, we thought that it was a pivotal time to share some positive initiatives that we've actually launched in the credit union over the last year. Of course, because we saw the world trending in a technical mode, we thought it crucial that we follow the same path, right? We actually experienced that a lot of our members had actually made the credit union their primary financial institution, and we didn't want to disadvantage you any. When we have let's say a 4-day weekend, a holiday on a Friday and a holiday on a Monday, and you can't access your money over that period of time. So we thought that we should equally trend in that regard along the technical age, right? So we have launched officially Monday past Cash and Go. All right. We've launched it here in Nassau, and we will similarly launch it in Freeport over the next month. All right. So it actually allows you, our members, those that are local and those that are on the island, to actually be able to transfer cash to and from your accounts, right? To pay your bills. The transfer cash portion will actually be activated within another 2 to 3 weeks. All right? So what we propose is that once we have island members that want to borrow, it will make it a whole lot easier for you to actually make your payments and for us to actually send you your money via a Cash and Go outlet. So you wouldn't have to physically travel here to make your payments. All right? Similarly, we have began the process, the transition into our launch of our ATM. It's been long coming. We have actually had the ATM set in place. Unfortunately, an ATM implementation takes a lot longer than just setting the ATM up, right? Our systems has to align, as well as we have to do certain things, such as like our cards have to be crafted and issued. PIN numbers have to be issued. Our accounts, we have to make sure that that whole process, all right, is lined up. We anticipate that before the end of the year that we should have launched and completely, we will be in testing mode with our ATM. So you should be able to physically go to not only the credit union's ATM, but you should be able to go to an ATM that uses the CIRS and Plus, and physically, for example, you'll be able to go to Shell, you'll be able to go to Esso, you'll be able to go to one of the other the banks around here and access your account and the cash on your account at any given hour. All right? So we wanted to share with you, of course, with those implementations, there's also some positive financial benefits for the credit union. For example, cash and go. When you make a transfer, there is some fee that's charged. And currently what's going to happen is that we will share that charge with the cash and go, with the existing cash and go owners, BAF. So a portion of that income will come to our financial balance sheet, and a portion of it will go to BAF. Similarly, every time you encourage your family members, colleagues, friends, co-workers to utilize our space, we anticipate that we will equally earn additional income. Our placement in terms of where we're located, our geographical placement, is strategic, because if any of you have actually utilized BEC to make your bill payments, you know firsthand that you can almost spend 30 minutes to 40 minutes inside that place just paying a bill, right? And God forbid you stand on the 60+ line, because you could be in there an hour. What we anticipate is that we will receive some of that traction. We will get some of that audience into our office space, and we will be able to so individuals will be redirected there to make those payments there, right? There was another point I wanted to make. Sure, you may.
Deidre Maycock. Now that we have cash and go, this is another service that we're offering. My question is, are we going to increase staffing, or is this, the present staff will have to facilitate this cash and go now? Because remember you just said, now, I ain't gonna stand on no line for 45 minutes at BC. So that means I come into my credit union for quicker service. So now, if they're serving their regular customers, are they also going to serve cash and go customers as well?
To answer your question, yes. You have to remember, and I think Mrs. Johnson and Reese kind of alluded to this as well, where we are an organization, first of all, and we do operate by a balance sheet. And whilst it would be lovely to pick up staff, it costs us in the long run, right? So what we need to do is we need to demonstrate by our efforts and our ability to service our clients and those that we will pick up, that we can in fact benefit from these initiatives.
I just want to say that I would like for the organization to monitor it, because if it's causing extreme delay or hardship on the staff, you also have to look out. You want to make sure that we are productive, as well as your customers are being serviced as well.
Yes. So what we've done was we've educated our staff. There's a portion of our some members of our staff that are delegated to the cash and go money transfer system. We've actually held sessions where they've trained on that system. So there is a point of relief that will serve should the line ever become unbearable, right? Yes.
I got a question. Well, actually two questions. First, I remember the gentleman here don't remember his name. He alluded, well, he talked about the website not being functional, and now we're moving towards a function of an ATM. You mentioned that it would be up and running by the end of the year. Is that concrete? First question. Second question, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Second question, you also spoke about the cash and go process, where cash and go would also make some money from the processes of using their services. You know, the thing is that, you know, with regards to the credit union, you know, we're here for the members. Have you guys determined, is it a percentage that will be charged each member for using the services, or is it a set fee?
Okay, so it's a two-part question, right? Two-pronged question. First part question was the target date. So, like anything involving technology, we are given projection dates, and there are we move with those projection dates as our target dates. There are things that can impact the launch at the given time, which is right now we have a target date. We're using Fidelity Bank as our service provider. They actually tap into all they provide international platforms for which you're able to utilize ATM access. So we're using them. So it's our desire that we launch within the last quarter. It's not within our control completely. We're subject to their limitations, I guess I would say. Second question, second story. 1 second, Christopher. The second prong was with regard to shared fees and how they can benefit members. I'm
for members.
There is a set fee. There's a set fee, and I'm pretty sure that we could share that set fee when you get to. So it's not to the members. It's not a credit union.
It's not a fee to the members.
Oh, no. There's no fee to the members. There's no fee to the members. So it's similar to if you go into a cash and go. There's a VAT fee. There's service charge fees, but it's not delegated to the members, right? We chomp off a lot of that. We take it as a portion of our loss. All right.
Hold on.
Not us. I mean, in our arrangement with cash and go.
Is that for both the money transfer and the bill payment? Because you know there is a fee that goes along with the bill payment. So, you would absorb the one for the bill payment as well. I'm not the bill payment, for money transfer.
I don't know if I'm misunderstanding the question. I don't know if I'm misunderstanding the question. Is there a fee that we are allotting to members? Is that the question?
For both.
There's no fee for the bill payment to the members, but in regards to money transfers, if you want transfer money to Jamaica or Haiti, you know there's a charge for that. And once that's collected, that is shared between the credit union and
yes. So thank you. So let me just give you some clarity, right? When you're paying a bill, this is what happens when you pay a bill. The loss of that, there is a fee that's generated that the vendor, BEC Water and Sewerage, would pay to us for actually utilizing our depot as a receiving depot. So that's the fee that we generate. There's no fee that we tack on and charge the members. So you don't, if your bill is $100, you don't pay us $108 to pay your bill.
That's $100.
All right? You pay $100 on your bill, and BEC Water and Sewerage pays us back a portion. And that's what goes to our balance sheet. Now, if you're doing a wire transfer, that's a service. So you're paying a service fee for that RTS transfer.
Well, my question, that was his question. What I wanted to know, as he brought to attention the website again. If we want to eliminate the lines which we will have, the website can be an avenue for that. Because as a person who uses, I pay my bills to the banking institution online. if we have our website up, I would not have to come to the credit union and pay. I could actually just go on our website and pay.
Yes.
But currently, the only thing I can see on the website is who are the members.
Yes. However, there's a lot of costs associated with that, and we gotta cross each river at a time.
But at the end of the day, you want to also make this service, like she says, you don't want it to be, oh, I go inside there, I got to be in there for a whole hour. We use, if we pay, I'm not sure what the cost is for us to operate the online services, but right now we are paying anyway, and we're not using it. So at the end of the day, we need to make sure that the technology we have is expanded. No longer people want to stay inside online.
I agree with you, I do agree.
On top of that, you said we're not increasing staff. We're not increasing staff, so we have our staff complement right now. They have a lot on their plate dealing with members' transactions. So we now put cash and go on them. So what you need to do is, you'll need to have the website available for us so we can actually pay our bills online. We don't have to come in. We want to use your services. But I ain't coming in there if I got to stand in the line for 9 to 10 people. I don't want to do that. And I could sit to my desk at work and just pay my bill through Commonwealth Bank. You understand? You all want to make that money. So you all need to make sure it happens.
I agree, and like I said, it's a phased approach, and that's something that we will certainly take a look at.
Yeah. And if in the board of directors report the way forward, that is one of the products that is next online.
Well, that's why we have what.
So you see what's happening here, right? So we have two sides of the coin.
Or education committees. I also want to say very quickly that there are some other criteria in the Bahamas Cooperative Credit Union Act, and some of the sections, it's section 50 of the act, and it talks about disqualification of directors. And very quickly it says, a person is not eligible to be a director if he is less than 18 years of age. B, he has not been a member of the credit union or duly appointed representative. C, he has been found by a court to be of unsound mind or is certified to be suffering from mental disorder. D, is an employee of the cooperative credit union, the apex body, or the central bank. E, has been convicted of an offense that is punishable or indictment in the Bahamas or in another country, or an offense involving dishonesty. F, is a professional advisor who provides services to the cooperative credit union in his professional capacity or has provided such services in 12 months preceding the date on which he may be elected. G, is a member of the supervisory committee. H, is 90 days or more in arrears of his debt obligation to the cooperative credit union. And I, is an undischarged bankrupt. So the following 5 nominations were received for the 2 vacant positions on the board of directors. 1, Mrs. Hezekiah Dean Ingram. 2, Mr. Alan Strawn. 3, Dr. Margot Monroe. 4, Mr. Michael Fountain. And 5, Mrs. Deidre Clark Maker. All 5 are eligible to run for the position on the board of directors based on the criteria. Supervisory committee. The criteria to qualify to run, supervisory and credit committees. The criteria to qualify to run for a position on the supervisory or the credit committees are: 1, you must have been a member of Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union for a minimum of 1 year, and 2, you must have attended 2 of the last 5 AGMs. The following 3 nominations were received for the 1 vacant position on the supervisory committee. 1, Ms. Miriam Curtis. 2, Ms. Hezekiah Dean Ingram. And 3, Ms. Deidre Clark Maycock. Ms. Curtis was ineligible because she had not attended 2 of the last 5 AGMs. Ms. Hezekiah Dean Ingram and Ms. Deidre Clark Maycock are both eligible for election to the Supervisory Committee. The Credit Committee. The following 5 nominations were received for the 1 vacant position of the Credit Committee. Ms. Tanya Ramin, Mr. Peter Cartwright, Ms. Miriam Curtis, Mrs. Chrislyn Kemp Skippins, and Mr. Michael Fountain. Ms. Miriam Curtis and Ms. Chrislyn Kemp Skippins were both ineligible because they have not attended 2 of the last 5 AGMs. The other 3 applicants are all eligible for election to the Credit Committee. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This ends the report for the Nomination Committee. Yes, ma'am.
It can't be 1. It can't be 1. It has to be 2 persons.
There are 2. She said that.
When Ms. Ingram is on the Credit Committee, right?
As far as
she's
I know.
running for something else, so that position is vacant.
So
stand corrected. Okay.
Two positions for the Credit Committee.
Yeah, it's free running.
Anyhow, call her to please direct. So,
What she said? You need me to go or you?
No, I'm just here for.
Peter and Michael.
It's 3 years.
Again, good evening.
What is he doing?
You have heard the report from the Nomination Committee. We are going to get into election mode, and I want to invite to the podium Teresa Delaveau, and I think she's the chairman of the Public Service Commission, to come forward and steer and guide this election. Mrs. Delaveau.
I cannot run for 2 positions. You all know that. I understand.
Told them that.
Anyway, you conduct the election.
And she can't run.
That's what I think. Remember, that's what I thought I was saying. You can't run for 2 positions. You could run for 1.
Good afternoon. We have a count of 156 members who are eligible to vote. And the first elections will be for, you heard the nominating committee, and you have 5 persons. Could the 5 persons come to the front, please? For the board of directors.
We got to dismantle ourselves from.
You could stay.
Yeah, me and Stroman.
You're invited. You're invited. Stay here. That's right.
But I'm out, so I have to be down.
You'll be down. No, of course. You come in there. You don't need chair.
Okay, y'all be quiet so you could hear from the nominees.
I gotta go to the bathroom first.
Go ahead, Deidre.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Deirdre Alexandra Clark Maycock. And for those who do not know me, I am an attorney at law, but my purpose here today is not necessarily about what I am professionally, but I'm here to define myself within this forum. And I've created an acronym which I would like to share with you. I am a vanguard for the credit union. and my acronym is Vanguard, VANGUARD. And for each one of those letters, I will say to you why I consider myself a vanguard for this organization. I have a vision for the steadfast growth of this organization. I am actively involved with the credit union, having served on the supervisory committee for over 9 years and served in other capacity as a credit union member, first and foremost as a credit union member. And I'm nuts about the credit union, and that speaks about my passion for this very august organization. I'm grateful for the union that has offered me an opportunity to travel and develop myself and expose me to other opportunities of this credit union. More so, I'd like to, at this point in time, to put in a plug for my insurance. We are all members of this credit union, and the insurance league, the league has an insurance element, and I tell you, I have nothing but to say glowing remarks for the insurance component of this August organization that we're a part of. And now I am unselfish as I choose to share the good news of credit union, where I have exposed persons to the values of a credit union. I always offer myself to my credit union in all capacities. I'm relevant, and in that I have a lot to offer this organization, which is my reason for offering for higher heights to the board of this August body. And I am dedicated to the core cause of cooperative, not just the Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union, but the Credit Union League as a whole, and ensure its development. So, ladies and gentlemen, with your pleasure, I ask for your vote tonight as I seek election to the Board of Directors of this credit union, the Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Alan Strawn, and for the last 3 years, I'm pleased to serve you, the members of the Public Credit Union, and to be part of the decision-making of the credit union, in particular for the last 3 years, for the work that we would have carried on with. I think in terms of the new building in Grand Bahama, and here we are in the ATM machine and the cash and go. All, it was just a delight to be a part of the decision-making of this August body. I am pleased to offer myself once again for the director of this credit union. I would like to continue with my loyalty and commitment to the credit union. And of course, I am a person of integrity, and that's my integrity speaks for myself. Thank you very much for voting for me tonight to continue the work that we have started, and I would appreciate you just marking the X for Alan Strawn. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Hessica Dean Ingram. Tonight, I offer you myself for a position that became vacant on the board of directors. I've served as a credit committee member / secretary from 2013. I have had one-on-one consultation with members, offering them financial guidance throughout my tenure there. When the opening became available, I thought it was an opportune time for me. I would like, though, to thank first Sheila Smith for all of her efforts that she would have done. Members like Sheila Smith should not just move off the scene and be forgotten. It is members like Sheila Smith that should be commemorated at all times, perhaps even made honorary members of the board, that they won't just completely be moved off the scene, that they are allowed to still make their contributions from afar. I would like to thank her for her efforts. I would also like Mr. Tinker did, and I thought it was a very good gesture, to highlight the staff. Staff members who have proven longevity. They've been with the credit union offering supreme service, promoting our products and services. You never have an issue when you go into that office. So on that heel, I would suggest that we find a way to not only just bring them here during an AGM, but a more consistent basis. Thank them for their, relentless efforts, unwavering efforts. And I just want to personally thank them as well. From the floor, we would have heard from New Millenniums. Chris, he badges us every AGM. We talk about Cousin Aki. We have to find a way that we can sit and go through the contents of these AGM booklets with our senior members. It's important to them. They want to know what's going on in depth. When we come here, I know for time's sake, we forego the reading of most of them. But what we want to do is find time, even post this AGM, to sit with them so that we can at least get their thoughts, get their we can't forget them. They are all founding members. For us, it's important that we create a balance. The demographics could be new and old. I'm not here to back anyone aside. I am here because I feel in my position, at my age, I have a positive contribution to make to the credit union. My sons are both adults and they are both part of another credit union. We need to reach out to them. They are the ones that are steering us. We're moving off the scene. So we have to find more meaningful, more attractive platforms for the youth. Online banking is what they want. They're a microwave generation. So they don't want to come in the bank and stand on lines and, that's not for them. So we have to find a way to grasp their attention, to assure ourselves that we have longevity in Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union. We have to do that. And with that, I present myself to you tonight. I'm here with the entire slate from the gaming board. They have supported me, my family, my friends. They know that I'm committed to whatever it is I put my hands on. But please, don't let it just be a popularity vote. Let it be a vote of confidence. Thank you.
Hello, good evening. My name is Margot Monroe, and I'm actually going to speak based on the theme, preparing the future for the next generation. I think outside of focusing on finances and wealth, one of the key things we need to be looking at is concrete platforms in terms of helping our members to look at energy efficient measures that we can take through the association of the credit union. These can be things very simple, like energy efficient light bulbs, alternative forms of energy, whether it's solar or wind power, and utilize the collective buying power of the credit union to purchase these resources, and then have a structured program where members can actually have access to these expensive pieces of equipment. Ultimately, what you're looking to try and do is decrease your dependency on BPL, increase your disposable income. And so if we're looking at trying to empower our members and our country as a whole, I think the credit union has to be looking for how we're going to prepare each other for the future and establish models that our children and other family members can also access and follow after. I also look at the fact that the credit union has run consecutively medical clinics, not clinics, but information centers or sessions. And actually, I think we need to look at incorporating other components It's been stated several times during this evening that we're an aging credit union. So we need to be looking at age and gender specific things to help our members in an effort to prepare them for the whole process of aging and what that entails. And if we're able to do that, it also provides, once again, a model that we can pass on to children, family, and friends. Even if I'm not elected, I'm hoping that the board and the credit union can embrace these concepts for the betterment of the entire organization. Thank you.
Come on, Michael. Not too long.
Hello, good night. How's everybody? My name is Mike Fountain, and I'm running for a position on the board. There's a quote by Robin Sharma. If you want to have the results only 5% have, you must be willing to do and think like only 5% do. I stand before you because I have achieved results, because I was willing to do and think like the 5%. 6 years ago, I stood before you for the first time seeking a spot on the credit committee. And thanks to you, I served 2 terms. 3 years ago, I again stood before you seeking a spot on the board. But fate decided that I needed to serve another term on the credit committee, which I am very grateful for. In the 2 terms I served, I was able to observe the workings and understanding of the credit union. I made it a point to talk to the staff, and more importantly, to talk to the customers to get a clear understanding of where they would like to see this credit union go. Every time I was able to meet with a customer, my questions were very specific, and efforts to understand the need of the customer sitting in front of me. I came to realize that every customer needs and expectations were different, which then shifted my need to know the why of each customer. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here seeking your vote because your why is important to me. I applaud the current board and the management team for the strides they have made in implementing the cash and go service and the ATM machine. I am very ecstatic that I am a part of the governing body that was able to accomplish this. It's definitely a proud moment for the members of the credit union. Now that we have accomplished that, let's focus on you as the customer. A little about myself. I've been in the aviation industry for 27 years. And I started on the ramp loading airplanes. And now, because I always believe that you can get everything in life, what you want, you have to be willing to help others get what they want. I have managed airlines, including British Airways and Delta Airlines. So I ask you again, you've trusted me for the last 6 years on the credit committee. I'm asking you to trust me once again. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard from the nominees, and on your paper, your ballot paper, you must just have just 2 persons. You heard them all, and now is your time to vote for the candidate of your choice. But should you put more than 2 ticks on your paper, your ballot paper will be spoiled. The green ballots, please. Please, the green.
Only the green. Only the green. Hey.
You're supposed to be inside here to vote. You're supposed to bring no ballots outside. They can just come inside the boat. Get your ballot paper. The ballot papers really shouldn't be going outside.
Today's the voting the dead. Voting is going to dead. No, not all. Isolation of another.
Yeah.
So all the papers inside? Okay. Okay.
Lucy, you ready? Tally?
Okay, yes, you got one. No, I don't need that.
One, two,
Five.
five, and then
How? He's a member? He's a member. How are the ballot papers in? Because once we start counting, we will not collect any more ballot papers. Let us begin with the count. Ingram, Clark. Ingram. Ingram, Fountain. Strawn, Clark. Ingram, Fountain. Monroe, Fountain. Ingram, Clark. Strawn, Clark. Ingram, Fountain. Strawn, Clark. Strawn, Clark. Fountain, Clark. Fountain, Strawn. Strawn. Monroe, Strawn. Strawn, Clark. Monroe, Strawn. Monroe, Clark. Strawn. Ingram, Fountain. Ingram, Strawn. Strawn, Clark. Monroe, Strawn. Strawn, Clark. Strawn, Clark. Monroe, Fountain. Ingram. Strawn. Fountain, Clark. Ingram, Strawn. Fountain, Clark. Strawn, Clark. Ingram. Ingram, Strawn. Ingram, Strawn. 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 Strawn, Clark. Monroe, Clark. Ingram, Fountain. Fountain, Strawn. Fountain, Clark. Ingram, Strawn. Monroe, Strawn. Ingram, Strawn. Ingram, Strawn. Ingram, Strawn. Ingram, Fountain. Ingram, Strawn. Ingram, Fountain. Ingram, Strawn. Ingram, Strawn. Fountain, Strawn. Fountain, Strawn. Fountain, Strawn. Strawn, Clark. Ingram, Strawn. Ingram. Ingram, Strawn. Ingram, Monroe. Strawn, Clark. Fountain, Strawn. Ingram, Clark. Strawn, Clark. Strawn, Clark. Ingram, Fountain. Ingram, Fountain. Fountain, Clark. Ingram, Strawn. Ingram. Fountain, Strawn. Fountain, Strawn. Ingram, Strawn. Monroe, Strawn. Ingram, Fountain. Ingram, Fountain. Fountain. Ingram, Fountain. Strawn, Clark. Monroe, Strawn. Ingram, Fountain. Monroe, Strawn. Ingram, Strawn. Ingram, Fountain. Monroe, Strawn. Strawn, Clark. Strawn, Clark. Strawn, Clark. Strawn, Clark. Ingram, Fountain. Ingram. Strawn, Clark. Ingram, Fountain. Fountain, Clark. Ingram, Strawn. Ingram, Fountain. Strawn, Clark. Strawn, Clark. Ingram, Strawn. Clark. Ingram, Fountain. Strawn, Clark. Clark. Fountain, Strawn. Ingram, Fountain. Ingram, Clark. Fountain, Strawn. Ingram. Strawn, Clark. Strawn, Clark. Strawn, Clark. Fountain, Strawn. Ingram, Clark. Fountain, Clark. Ingram, Fountain. Strawn. Fountain, Strawn. Ingram, Strawn. Ingram, Strawn. Ingram. Ingram, Fountain. Ingram, Fountain. Ingram, Fountain. Strawn, Clark. Ingram, Ingram Fountain. Fountain Strawn. Fountain Strawn. Ingram Fountain. Ingram Fountain. Monroe Clark. Ingram Fountain. Ingram Fountain. Ingram Fountain. Ingram Strawn. Ingram Strawn. Ingram Fountain. Strawn Clark. Ingram Clark. Fountain Strawn. Ingram Fountain. Ingram Fountain. Ingram Fountain. And Ingram Fountain. Gentlemen, scores as follows. Strawn 77, Ingram 71, Fountain 57, Clark 46, and Monroe 14. So the two. Okay, tone it down, please. Order. So the two persons, Mr. Strawn has been re-elected and Ms. Ingram is the new person on the board. Could you come and take your seat? Ms. Ingram? Oh, she's coming. You come and take your seat. We have...
Thank you. I'd like to make a nomination from the floor. Please, I'd like to nominate Michael Fountain for the Supervisory Committee. Any seconder, please? Thank you.
Okay, there's one position on the supervisory committee, and the nominating committee has a person on that, on the ballot paper. So that person,
Teresa.
yes?
I am putting forward a nomination from the floor. Right? Excuse me, Mr. Miller. Mr. Miller, with all due respect, you know you cannot and you should not mislead this room into thinking that we don't have a right to nominate someone from the floor. That is unacceptable, Mr. Miller. I would like to nominate as a member and shareholder in this credit union, I'd like to nominate Michael Fountain for the Supervisory Committee. Just have a runoff. It'll be him and Deidre. So what's the problem with that? And if you need me to move a motion for resolution for this forum to say that it is okay to nominate someone, then we will do that. But you will not say that we cannot nominate someone from the floor. That is unacceptable. I think it should be a fair deal. Madam Chair for the elections, could you please constitutionally give your remarks?
Okay, once there's nomination from the floor, 2/3 of the membership, Mr. Chipman, will have to agree for the nominations from the floor.
Thank you. So
he has a motion on the floor.
A motion is on the floor to nominate. Do we have a seconder? Yes. All in favor, remain seated. Anyone against, stand. Motion passed. Thank you. Motion passed.
Mr. Chapman, it just don't go that way. This is not the House of Assembly. It don't go that way. I am in the chair. Yeah, yes, I know. Corporators, we do have a motion on the floor. The chair recognized the motion made by Mr. Chipman and second, and so I will put the motion to the floor. All those who are in favor of adding another name or names to the ballot, please stand. Give us a count. Let's get a count. Please remain standing. We need a number. Please remain standing. Base, from my perception, the majority has it. The name Mr. Fountain. Are there any other nominations? None. The name Fountain will be added to the ballot. The chair will now advise those who will be voting. We have the ballot and Hezekiah Ingram name is on it. That will be scratched out and we'll just insert Fountain name there. Where there is Hezekiah Ingram on the blue sheet, just insert Fountain.
Mr. Mitchell, one quick question, please.
I went ahead, and I'm quite sure more persons than I went ahead and pre-voted. And so what do we do now that we have already voted? And we have a new person on the ballot, and we may want to change the previous vote.
What do you call pre-voted? I don't understand that. You voted legally for...
I made an X already on the ballot. For the supervisory committee, I had already marked my X to a particular person.
Well, I'm quite sure we should have some more ballots here.
We have more ballots. Thank you very much.
Shouldn't write your name in. It's very simple. There will only be 2 names on the ballot. If you already mark out the name, that perhaps the person you wanted to vote for. Okay?
Okay, can we have some order, please? Order. On your ballot papers, 1 name, please. 1. Oh. Everybody's inside who's voting? We ain't taking no ballot papers from outside. Just come inside.
If you lose this election, his name is in
Okay, turn in all the ballot papers when you're finished, please.
Also, she didn't